What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Kelsey's Corner. I'm Kelsey. This is one of my mini ball pythons. He actually doesn't have a name yet, so if you have any suggestions, throw it down in the comments below. Today I'm going to do a video talking about some ball python genes that could be lethal or cause deformities, so that if you're looking to get into breeding, you can avoid any kind of problems starting out. So the first problematic ball python gene that I want to address is the spider ball python. There's a lot of people that breed them, but they can have some problems. The most notable problem that the spider gene carries is what's called a wobble. A wobble is basically exactly what it sounds like. Their head just kind of moves like this. It can be mild or it can be very severe. In the more severe cases, it can be something called corkscrewing, where their head just kind of like goes around and around and around. Some of them actually can fall over, or if they do fall over, they can't flip themselves back over. It's a neurological disorder. So that's one reason that I avoid the gene, just because I would prefer not to bring something into the world that could potentially have that problem. Even though a lot of them don't, it is something that is a very real possibility. Another gene that's very similar to the spider gene is what's called Woma, or hidden gene Woma. I believe they're separate genes and I don't really know how to tell the difference, but I know that they're related because they have such a similar name. The Woma ball python has the same problems as the spider ball python. The genes are actually a little bit related, so they can have that wobble as well. Champagne is another gene that can have a wobble. I personally haven't seen any champagne ball pythons that have a wobble, but I also haven't done a lot of research into it. It does say online that they could have the wobble. I guess it is a possibility. So the first two genes that I talked about are the two main ones that have problems. The champagne is more problematic if you're actually breeding them. Champagne is a co-dominant trait, which means if you breed a champagne to a champagne, you have a possibility of getting a super champagne, just like you would for any other co-dominant, such as a Russo. If you breed a Russo and a Russo, you have a chance of getting a super Russo, which is a blue-eyed Lucy. But if you create a super champagne ball python, it's always lethal. I don't know if a super champagne egg would make it to full term. There are some lethal genes that the egg may make it to full term, but then when it hatches, the ball python dies shortly after. So I'm not sure if the egg would just not be viable at all, or if the ball python would die shortly after, but a super champagne is always lethal either way. Breeding a champagne to a spider ball python is also a lethal combination. Another ball python gene that I'm actually not very familiar with, but I was reading online is problematic, is the Sable gene. If you cross that with spider, it does cause a severe wobble, and sometimes the eggs are not viable, and a super Sable could also have a wobble.
After I made this video, I decided to do more research on these genes to see how connected they were, and it turns out that all the genes that I've talked about, the spider, the champagne, the Sable, the Woma, hidden gene Woma, they're all part of the pearl complex, and that's why they don't work well together, and that's why you can't combine any of them. So it was very interesting to me to go online and actually look it up afterwards. I probably should have done some research before I actually filmed the video, but the important thing is I'm learning along the way and hopefully helping other people learn as well.
Some other side effects of bad genes could be kinks or other deformities such as bug eyes. Spot nose is another gene that could be introduced to other ball python genes that could cause these problems. So if you cross a spot nose and a spider, or a spot nose and a champagne, that could cause those kinks or deformities to come out. There's another deformity that some ball pythons can get called duckbill, and that's where their nose is really flat. Some of them can have kind of like an underbite, or I guess it would be an overbite, because the top of their nose would be a little bit longer than the bottom of their jaw. The most common gene crosses that cause the duckbill would be a super cinnamon or a super black pastel. It doesn't always happen, but it can. If you haven't seen my other video yet where I talk about choosing a breeder, choosing a healthy snake, and making sure you're getting what you paid for, I'm gonna link it up here somewhere so that you can go watch it to make sure that you don't make the same mistake that I did, because this guy was sold to me as a female. He was sold to me as a vanilla. I'm really not sure if he is or not. I've asked some other people and they say that he does look like a vanilla, but he also has this really cool head stamp, which I love that about him. So I think he is possible spot nose. Again, if I'm suspicious that he could be a spot nose, I would not be able to breed him to my champagne, because that could cause problems. But I don't really have to worry about that this year because my champagne is not even ready to breed. So any females that I have that are going to be ready this year, they won't be problematic with spot nose at all. Crossing spot nose and spot nose could cause problems as well. From what I was reading and researching, it doesn't necessarily cause problems every time, but it could cause a wobble, kinks, or other deformities. The last gene that I'll cover is the banana or coral glow. Now, while this doesn't cause any lethal combinations or any kind of deformities or anything, it is kind of an anomaly in that the ratios of males to females is always really heavy on the male side. So you may hear people talk about what's called a female maker, which is usually in the banana coral glow realm, and that is a male banana ball python that's offspring from a female banana. So a male banana ball python whose mom was a banana will end up being a female maker, and they usually go for quite a bit more money because everybody wants to hatch females because that's how you get more eggs. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. In the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be coming out with another video. It's going to be an unboxing video. I'm super excited about it. I don't want y'all to miss it. It's going to be awesome. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. It's Kelsey's Corner Friends, and I'll see y'all next time.